growing up, was difficult at times, because we sometimes struggled financially. And my dad, it was up to him to raise us by himself. What I admire the most about my dad is he really persevered and pushed, through life and through obstacles. He really doesn't give up, and he always reminds us that what he does, it's, to keep us moving forward. After school, I would spend hours in the library studying. I didn't have internet at home. I had to go over to the McDonald's and finish up some homework. And I remember, looking up and seeing this poster in the lobby. It was about the HACER scholarship. So I applied. At first I felt, what are the odds? But then I remember my dad always saying, you have to push through. You have to have hope.
Wow. 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 What an amazing and incredible story. It's inspiring. Eric and his family are evidence que si se necesita, if it's needed, se puede hacer, you can make it happen. So congratulations to him and his family on receiving that scholarship. Hello, welcome to our virtual workshop series. This is part of the 2021 McDonald's HACER Education Tour. And we are so excited that you are here this evening with us to spend some time, learn, and have some fun. I'm your host. My name is Carlos Alberto Ojeda Torres Rivera de Jesus Jr., but everyone calls me Chu. I'm part of the Cool Speak family, and I'm so excited to be here because you know what? We have a lot of great stuff prepared for you tonight. We're going to talk to you about how you can get your kids going on their college journey like Eric did and his family. We are here to be giving you some advice on for college and navigating the application process. And of course, we're here to talk about scholarships, specifically about the HACER scholarship and all that it can do for your family if your child wins it. Please feel free to engage us in the chat below, all right? If you have any questions throughout the entire event, make sure you throw it up in the chat. We'll be answering them at the end of the session. We're going to have a little Q&A with you, all right? Oh, and I almost forgot. Thanks to McDonald's, we've got prize giveaways. Yes, you heard me right. Prize giveaways, all right? On behalf of McDonald's, we have $25 McDonald's Arch cards, all right? So you can go buy those amazing papitas, those French fries. I love those fries, but you'll be able to order whatever your favorite McDonald's meal is, all right? We also have McDonald's merch packs, which have plenty of Mickey D swag and drip, and 3 grand prize winners who will win a gift card in the amount of $500. $500. All right, so this is way worth the investment being here. You're going to get amazing information. You're going to laugh and bug out and have a good time. All right, and you know what? Right about now, send the kids away. Send them away. This is your time. All right, and I know what you're thinking, and I know what you're wondering, and I know what you want to ask me. Shoo, stop with the banter. Yo, how do I win? Well, you know what? We've got 2 ways for you to enter. Number 1, on the screen, there's going to be a QR code. All you have to do is grab your cell phone, open up your photo app, scan the QR code. It's going to give you a little message. You click on that and you follow the steps. So all you have to do is scan the QR code and follow the steps to enter the win. The second way, all you have to do is text I said more to 866-213-5881, and you'll see it down here at the bottom throughout the entire evening. Winners are going to be chosen at random. All right, our grand prize winners will be announced live at the end of the workshop. So you got to stick with us the entire time. Arch card winners, you'll be notified by text. All right, if you want to share that with me, we can eat papitas together. All right. Oh, and one last thing. All right, before we get started, put the kids away, close the door. This is for adults. This is for parents only. All right, we're going to have a good time. So I want you to have some fun because you know what? You work hard. You work hard all day. You support your children. You do everything you can to apoyarlo, to support them. Sometimes you got to get the chancla. I know all that. You got to cook dinner. You got to do all that. But right here, right now, this session is just for you. All right? So have some fun. Now, it is my esteemed pleasure to introduce the person who's going to be speaking with you and sharing the information. This is personal for me. He's my business partner. He's my brother from another mother. He's my best friend. All right. He's one of the best facilitators in the country, one of the best speakers in the country. But above and beyond all that, he's an amazing husband and amazing father. He inspires me to be a better father, all right, a better husband to my wife. I love him to death, and he's here today to rock it out with you. So show some crazy love in the chat. Warm welcome for Mr. Ernesto Mejia.
What up, what up, what up? Buenas noches. Good evening, parents. Bienvenidos. Welcome. Thank you so much for spending some time with us, for hanging out, for sharing your evening with us. It is my absolute pleasure and honor to be able to spend some time with you tonight. Now, what's the reason for tonight? Why are we trying to help our students get to college? How are we trying to help them get to college? What are we doing to help them get to college? There's a lot of questions that need to be answered and a lot of dialogue that needs to happen. So, what is it that we want for our children? Bottom line, the majority of us, we want our children to have a better life than we had, regardless of the life that we may have had. What is the most difficult job on planet Earth that comes with the least amount of training and the biggest and largest responsibility? That of being a parent. Now, I hate to bust the news to you, but parents are humans, although they're adults typically, and they still make mistakes. It's okay. But I need you to know that we need to be cautious as to how we communicate with our students, with our children. We are that educator for our children. We are our students, meaning our children's teacher. We're the ones that spend more time with them. We're the ones that are the most tenured professors for our children because they spend more time with us. And we teach not just via our words, but our actions, what we actually do. Saying it is one thing. That's easy. Doing it is another. So, again, my name is Ernesto Mejia Macías y soy orgullosamente producto de padres de Zacatecas, Mexico. If you know speak Spanish very good, I got you. Don't worry. All I said was my name is Ernesto Mejia Macías, and I'm the proud product of Mexican immigrant parents from Zacatecas, Mexico. I'm also the product of a farm worker, janitor, factory worker, apple picker, restaurant staff. Those are some of the jobs that my parents held. And those were some of the examples that they gave me in life. That it's not about the job that you do, it's how you do it, it's showing up every day, and it's taking care of your family. My parents always did that for me. And they weren't the only ones that did it, because I know you're doing it for your children. I know that you're tuned in trying to find out, how can I help my child get some of this money for college? What can I do? Where do I start? And while the process is challenging, and I understand that, know that there are always going to be obstacles. There are always going to be challenges. Just like the young man you saw in the video, I want to show another video clip of him in a second to showcase the star that Eric is and how not just adults, but youth are currently going through obstacles. Let's cue up that next video so that you can see Eric share in his own words.
What was the most difficult part of this process? What was the biggest obstacle for you to get this, application in and apply for the scholarship?
I didn't have internet at home, and so always finding a good internet connection to submit all of the required documents was hard. Go to the library in the evenings, if not McDonald's, like I was saying. I didn't know what FAFSA actually stood for until my senior year in high school, and so that was challenging at first. And so I talked to my counselors, what is FAFSA? What is the SAT or whatever? And so
some of those hit home, not just for me, but for some of y'all. And it's okay. Because when Eric said, I didn't even know what FAFSA was till my senior year. Some of us right now still don't know what it is, still don't know the obstacle that it can be, how challenging it can be, how time consuming it can be, how much effort it takes, but we're going to try to help you with that. There's a myth that I need to dispel amongst our own community. FAFSA is not a hand-me-down. FAFSA is not something that's given to you because they feel bad for you. FAFSA is support that you are paying into via your taxes that could help your child go to college. These are some of the things that we don't understand sometimes, and because of that misunderstanding, we miss out. So for me, growing up, I was blessed and fortunate to have both my parents. I was blessed and fortunate to have two amazing examples. One of the things that I hear a lot of students say, and I'm trying to help change the narrative of this, is my parents can't help me get to college. And that's false. While I'll give you, my parents don't know the financial aid process. While I'll give you, my parents don't know how to fill out the college application. I'll give you that much. Who's put that intrinsic motivator inside of you? Who's given you that work ethic? Who's given you that fire to succeed in life? Who's motivated you to want to do better for yourself and your loved ones? Who's the person that, unfortunately, in some of our cases, couldn't get a college education? In some cases, a high school education. In my case, for my parents, even a middle school education. Just because my parents didn't go to college, that never meant that I wasn't going to go to college. That actually meant that I needed to go to college. Because research shows us that there's one generation that always pays the price. For my family, it was my parents. My brother, my sister, and I, we did okay thanks to them. But we need to make sure that that doesn't happen over and over again, where there's another generation paying the price and another generation paying the price. For me, growing up, the examples were abundant. But when you're young, you don't realize it because you're just angry and upset that you have to do chores, that you have to get up early. You feel like they're just picking on you. You feel like they're just trying to make you upset. We don't notice these things. So this goes out to the parents that are teaching their children how to be independent, critical thinking individuals that want to be self-servant leaders and make a difference in this world. This goes out to that single mom that gets up early, gets home late, but she's putting food on the table. This goes out to that dad that's working 70, 60, 80 hours a week just to make sure that his kids have everything that he never had. This goes out to all those parents that didn't get an opportunity to get an education, but they're ensuring that their children do have that opportunity. Now, the job is still on them, obviously, to do their work. But we need to do our part to make sure that we're helping them. We're supporting them. We're encouraging them. You see, while my father and my mother didn't have a formal education, my dad went to 3rd grade, my mom went to 6th grade. I hate sounding like that broken record for a lot of people in my community, but those are the facts for my life. But my dad, even though I only had him a short time in my life, I'm still trying to fill those shoes. I'm still trying to own as much as he did, be as much of a man as he was. Because I lost my father when I was 13 years old. But those foundational years for a child are 0 to 8. Does that mean we stop at 8? No. Those are just the most impactful years in a child's life. Remember that and know that and continue it after. I remember Saturday mornings. I remember my mom getting upset with my father because my father would make me get up earlier on Saturday morning than he did during the school week to shovel snow, to mow the lawn, to rake the leaves, to wash the car, to work on the garden, to clean up the garage. There was always something to do. And sometimes when you're young, all you do is get upset. Why does he do this to me? Does he not love me? Why is he being mean to me? Why doesn't he let me sleep? I didn't know then that he was instilling in me a work ethic that's allowed me to succeed in life. I didn't know then that my mother cried behind closed doors, begging my father to not make me go out there and mow the lawn when I was like 6 years old. And I put everything I had into that lawnmower, and it took me forever. And my mom told me this recently. And she said, "Mijo, I used to cry and tell your dad, if you don't speak Spanish, mijo means beautiful, sexy, attractive Mexican male boy. If you do speak Spanish, it may mean son to you, but just telling you what it means in my household." So my mom would say, "Mijo, I used to tell your dad, he can't do that. It's too hard for him. Don't make him do things that are too hard. He's not strong enough yet." In my head, I was like in full agreement with my mom because it would get me out of it. And my dad would tell her, "Déjalo, leave him. This is going to make him understand what hard work is and how he can do something even when he doesn't think he can do it." I didn't know what he was doing then. I just thought I was the guy that had to mow the lawn all the time. I just thought I was the chosen one for trimming the hedges all the time. I just thought I was the one that swept the best because that's why I cleaned the garage all the time. And that's not true. My mom and my dad were my best teachers. My mom and my dad taught me everything that I know in life. My mom and my dad put some big shoes out there for me to fill. So I'd like to, if it's okay with you, honor them. Because if it weren't for their sacrifices, I wouldn't be where I am in life. If it weren't for them giving up on their dreams to ensure that my dreams came through, I wouldn't be here today. So I'd like to introduce you to my heroes. That is my mama, or as we say in Mexico, mi mamá, and my dad, or as we also say in Mexican culture, the weirdest nicknames ever, mi jeton, which means Mr. Big Lips. Those are my parents. Those are the individuals that sacrificed everything for me to have a better life. Those are the individuals that left their home to move to a state where they had 0 friends and 0 relatives to ensure that their children had a good life. Those are the individuals that didn't even speak English and learned along the way to get a job. Those are the individuals that were discriminated against because of the way they look, because of the way they sound, and because of where they came from. But they're also the individuals that gave me everything that I needed and then some. My mom is a saint. Every time I think I do something good, she does something better to make me look like, yeah, no, you got some work to do, kid. And it makes me feel proud that my mom is so caring, so loving. She will take care of everyone else. Luckily, I inherited some of that. Not all of it, but some of it. My dad used to take care of the whole family. I'm not saying I take care of the whole family, but I try to take care of my loved ones. These are things that my parents taught me. You have to remember, parents, that you are teaching your students how to succeed. You are teaching your students how to not apply for 1 scholarship or 2 or 3 or 5, but 20, 30, 40. You, parents, are the ones teaching your child that they can fight for their dreams, that it's not going to be easy, but if they really want it, they'll make it happen, just like you have. You, parents, are the ones leading by example. Sometimes we don't set the best of examples. I'm a parent of 3, and I've learned to say some new words that have made me a better parent. I'm sorry, mijo. I'm sorry, mija. I'm sorry, son. I'm sorry, daughter. That wasn't the best. I'm sorry I yelled. I'm sorry I misunderstood. I'm sorry I didn't trust you. I'm sorry I thought the worst. Because sometimes we do that. But sometimes in our culture, our pride don't allow us to say those words. And I want us to think about that. Because if we're trying to lead by example, if we're trying to change the narrative, if we're trying to change the way things were before, then it's on us. While I can't be mad at a dad that doesn't know how to hug his child and tell him verbally that he loves him and he means the world to him, because he never had a male do that for him, it doesn't mean that we can't change. I can't be mad at the mom that only knows how to communicate by yelling no matter what is happening. Ya vente a comer, come eat. You're like, why are you yelling? Ni te estoy gritando. I'm not even screaming. I'm like, you always scream. And then you visit grandma and then you're like, oh, now I get it. Because they come from that school. We have to be aware of these things. But please know that I need you to take the time to be there for your child. I need you to take the time to tell them some simple words like, I love you. I'm here for you no matter what. How can I support you? These are words that our students need to hear, that our children need to hear. And we don't need to stick with the old school of, if you're a man, you don't cry. I'll probably cry like 3 times before this night is over. That doesn't change that I am or I am not a man. Doesn't make me lesser of a man. Everybody needs to know this. You need to understand it, and we need to see it from a different perspective. Now, I want to give you a few more lessons that my parents taught me before we move on to the scholarship piece. So, my parents were extremely hardworking individuals. They taught me the work ethic like no one else. Also taught me the importance of education because after work, my mom would drag my father to learn English as a second language. And I was like, why are y'all doing this? If you're exhausted, you're tired, like you're out of energy, sometimes coming after a second job to go learn English as a second language. And my mom would tell me, well, your dad always falls asleep at class. I'm like, well, Mom, he has work like 16 hours. Like, it's kind of understandable. But she still made him go to learn English as a second language. My mom picked up some English. So did my dad. And just like any foreigner, they picked up the bad words first because that's just how you do it. But my mom and dad taught me the importance of an education. My mom and dad taught me how to treat other individuals by the way they treated our neighbors, by the way they treated our teachers. Listen, obstacles are going to be there, just like Eric said. However, you need to understand, if you don't see the obstacle as such a big obstacle, you get over it real quick. Sometimes people see obstacles and I just see, well, do I go under? Do I go over? Do I go by the side? Because this isn't going to stop us. That's because of my parents. I can tell you this, and I can tell you this with all the pride that I can. My name is Ernesto Mejia Macias, and I am my parents' American dream because I get to do what I love for a living, because I received a few college degrees, because I'm a halfway decent father that's teaching my children about their culture, about their language, about their heritage, about how to be independent, critical thinking individuals that I want for them to pursue whatever they want, to be happy. That's because that one generation had to pay the price. My mom and my dad. So I want to thank them because if it weren't for them, I wouldn't be here. And I need you to know this because parents, I understand the struggle when our children aren't doing what we want them to do. When our children aren't working as hard as we want them to work. When our children aren't cleaning their room the way we want them to clean their room. I was a good student K through 6. I was a bad student thereafter. I dropped out of school in Mexico, came back to the US, went to college because my big brother told me to, got kicked out of college my second year, wasn't doing very well, wasn't being very responsible, wasn't doing good in my life, and didn't look like I was going anywhere. But my family and my mom were always there for me. And I'm telling you from experience, sometimes we go through bad streaks. Sometimes we don't have it all together. Sometimes we make bad decisions, but when you know somebody's in your corner, when you know somebody's there to love you and support you, you keep pushing. And miraculously, you end up with a few college degrees. Miraculously, you end up becoming an entrepreneur. If you would have asked me in high school what an entrepreneur was, I probably would have told you it's something that comes out of a cow. I had no idea. But life changes. And thanks to my parents, I'm doing okay in life. So let's get to one of the main reasons y'all showed up, all right? Because I know y'all are here for the good stuff, the scholarships, okay? So let's go over this really quick to make sure that we understand what this is. However, before we get into the scholarships, I wanted to revisit my boy Eric because, man, those parents have done a phenomenal job with that young man. And if it were up to me, man, I would sit there and just listen to him half the time. So we're going to queue up another video by Eric to set up what we're going to talk about next, because I think it provides some good context, a good foundation for what we're going to do. So let's watch another video by Eric so he can give us some more insight, please.
But everybody's got their own little journey and own story. So why did you apply for the HACER scholarship?
Well, I applied because, like I was saying, I knew that I was going to need, financial help. And if I won, you said, okay, I might not win, but what if I win, And so I wanted to make my dad and my mom really proud and help him, pay him back.
So that part always gets me, as you can tell. I wanted to make my mom and dad really proud. Imagine the feeling that those parents had just hearing somebody is going to give us a scholarship so you don't have to worry and stress so much about how we're going to pay for my education. Imagine the pride, el orgullo that they felt when they were able to tell their friends, my son just won a scholarship. It's the HACER scholarship from McDonald's. Imagine being able to say and hear somebody gave us $100,000 to pay for our education. The McDonald's HACER scholarship is a national scholarship that provides that opportunity and then some. They're giving away $500,000 worth of scholarships to 30 different students. Applications open up on October 20th. Do me a favor. If you're not watching on your phone, and even if you are, write that date down. Treat it like FAFSA. If it opens up that day, that's when we do it. October 20th. You can sit down with your child and help them start the process. That ends and closes on February 7th, 2022. Do not write that date down, because here's what I want you to do. You finish that application this year. You get it out of the way, because it's going to be one of many scholarships that you apply for, hopefully. If you tell your child, and I'm telling you this from experience, it closes on February 7th, they are going to be looking for teachers on February 6th. Hey, I need a reference letter. You think you can help me out? Sure. When do you need it by? Maybe 5. It's 3. 5:30. Don't allow them to do that to their teachers and to themselves, because they won't turn in their best work. Make sure that you turn it in early. Visit www.mcdonalds.com/HACER so that you can find the scholarship application. Again, I'm going to repeat this because this happens to me often with students. Visit www.mcdonalds.com/HACER. Why am I repeating it? Because at the end of the session, someone will ask, excuse me, so where do I go for the scholarship? Well, remember the website I said 3 times in a row and told you not to forget? That's where you go. www.mcdonalds.com/HACER. And now that I'm repeating things, if you go even lower, you see the hashtag I said more? Use it on social media. You see the text I said more to 866-213-5881. If you're trying to win some of these prizes, take out your phone and text now, okay? Now, let me go into the breakdown of the scholarships and the different denominations, okay? So they're going to be giving out $25,000 scholarships. Which one do you get? We don't know. You apply, and then in the process, they determine who's going to qualify for which one. 3 $10,000 scholarships. 1 $20,000 scholarship. 2 $25,000 scholarships. 2 $50,000 scholarships. And ladies and gentlemen, you are seeing and reading correctly. 2 students will be blessed with a $100,000 scholarship from McDonald's HACER scholarship. That is unbelievable. When we were live and in person, I used to ask the students, so if you won that $100,000 scholarship, young man, what would your mom say? What would she feel? I kid you not, a young man said, my mom would probably say, ¿Me compras una lavadora? Can you buy me a washer? I'm like, okay, thank you for your honesty. However, this is scholarship money that will be paid to the college. However, I appreciate your honesty. But then there was one young lady that told me once, sir, I don't think that they think I can get a scholarship like that, let alone myself. And I had to correct her. I had to say, well, since your parents nor you are on the scholarship committee, you need to do your part and let the scholarship committee determine which one of these scholarships you may or may not achieve. But there's only one way to find out. It's by actually applying, okay? Now, let me give you some resources that are going to help you throughout the process. Number one, the mcdonalds.com/HACER. It's the site that we told you. Not only does it have the scholarship, but it also has other resources, other information that is very beneficial to you. FAFSA, financial aid. Parents, I need you to hear me and pay attention to this part. If your high school senior has not applied for financial aid yet, you're already behind. October 1st was the first day to apply for financial aid. And let me help you better understand this process. I'm the government. I have all the financial aid money in a big old pile right here. I give it out on a first come, first served basis. So if the first 100 students come and they all need money, but that 101st student needed the money more, if I don't have any money left to give, I can't give him or her anything. I'm all out. And let me tell you something else. It's not an easy process. They've improved. It's a lot easier. And there's actually an app on your phone that you can use to do the financial aid process. But you're going to need your tax information. And I'm telling you because I helped a student this year. They were sweating bullets at the beginning of the semester because they hadn't submitted the appropriate paperwork on time to financial aid. So they had to end up paying out of pocket to keep their student in college. When all indicators said they were going to get a full financial aid package. But you can't get anything if you don't submit all of your paperwork on time. The Hispanic Scholarship Fund, another great resource. And here's the beauty of the Hispanic Scholarship Fund. The Hispanic Scholarship Fund has scholarship opportunities for every single student. Regardless of what's happening in life, where you came from, where you live, the Hispanic Scholarship Fund has scholarship opportunities available for you there. Please visit that site. Big Future, which is College Board. Look, College Board is like a machine. And thanks to College Board and me knowing about it, it made me look like I was really helping my kids out. But College Board was the one driving that bus. My son knew which universities required what, which one weighed work experience over playing a high school sport, what were some of the requirements, their graduation rates. All of this information is for free. College Board can help you with that. Big Future is a phenomenal resource for that. Please make sure your students sign up for it. Ask them about it. And look, let me tell you right now, we take pictures of our food and trees and driving and nature. Snap a quick picture of the screen. I'll cover my face to make the picture look better, but get those resources. I need you to get those resources. CapEx. CapEx is a phenomenal resource to do just this. Okay, here are the 5 colleges and universities that I'm interested in. Let's compare each and every one of them. Get them side by side. Price, location, demographics, graduation rate, job placement, all these things. CapEx will help you do that. Again, a great free resource that's available for you. And of course, Cool Speak. Our family is here for you to support you, not just via our website, but our staff and our team. So please use all of these resources. Let me give you a few more before we move on. For our African American community, the McDonald's Black and Positively Golden Scholarship. That is an opportunity there as well. For our Asian Pacific Islander community, the McDonald's APIA Scholarship. And also, here's the one that I think a lot of people miss out on. And here's something that I want to express in the best way that I can. I get upset when people start saying, oh, well, you work there, you work at a fast food restaurant, not even knowing all of the opportunities, the foundation, and what it does for you. Let me give you some examples. Some of those individuals that may have, I don't know, maybe were talked a little differently about because they were working at a fast food restaurant like McDonald's are now owner operators of 15, 20, 30 different McDonald's and donating the funds to create this HACER scholarship. I've been able to meet a few of them, and their stories are amazing. The Archways to Opportunity gives you an opportunity to learn English as a second language, to get your GED, and get this, college tuition support if you work for McDonald's. Yes, college tuition support. Take advantage of these opportunities. Ask, because if you don't ask, you might not be able to take advantage of something that's so beneficial to you. Understand that Archways to Opportunity can open up a lot of doors for you, and it can help you out a lot, okay? Whew, that was a lot. So let me tell you the requirements so that we can move on, okay? So what are the requirements for this scholarship? Is it a 4.4 GPA and, all honors? And no. You're a high school senior, you're a legal U.S. resident, younger than 21 years of age, you carry a minimum of a 2.8 GPA. I'm going to tell you right now, it's extremely difficult to find a scholarship that can give you up to $100,000 and your GPA requirement's only going to be a 2.8 GPA. That's putting your money where your mouth is. That's trying to find that student that needs some help. I can't be angry at the student that doesn't have a 3.5 because he or she is working 45 hours a week to help support their family while going to high school. Those things play a factor. So I think that's one of the reasons that the GPA is 2.8. Eligible to attend a 2 or 4-year college or university full-time and have at least one parent of Hispanic descent. If you have 2 parents, it doesn't increase your odds. It just makes you more Hispanic, sorry. So 1 parent of Hispanic descent. These are the requirements. I'm going to tell you right now why this is important to know. Most students and some parents will disqualify themselves from winning a scholarship that they didn't even apply for and they don't even know the requirements to. Because in their minds, it's only the 4.0 student, it's only that student that's number 1 in the class, it's only that student that overachieves, that excels, it's only the student, and in some cases, I've literally heard this, well, you have to be totally broke for them to give you a scholarship. That's not true. Understand that that is not true. The McDonald's HACER scholarship opportunity is looking for all-stars. And if you don't believe it, look at the all-star that they found in Eric. We'd love for your son or your daughter to be that next all-star that they discover. So what is the criteria? How are these winners selected? Okay, this is the part that everybody knows, or they think they know, but nobody really knows. Academic achievement plays a factor. Yes, your grades. Financial need plays a factor. Yes, how much your parents make. Community involvement plays a factor. Ask your child now, tonight or tomorrow, hey, does the high school have like a community service hour requirement or volunteer hour requirement to graduate? Most students, not all, most students, let's say the high school requires 40 hours of community service to graduate. They're going to try to cram them in 1 year. Let me tell you why it's important to do differently. If your student is a senior right now, there's not much you can do. If your student is a freshman and the high school requirement for community service is 40 hours, I'd like you to challenge your student to get 40 hours in every year. When they fill out that application, they get to say, my high school's requirement for graduation was 40 hours of community service. I'm not an underachiever. I'm an overachiever. I put in 40 hours a year for a grand total of 160 hours in something that I love, in something that I believe in. That's why I volunteered that much. You don't think that might increase your odds of getting a scholarship? Because I do. The last one is the personal interview. The personal interview will actually happen if you're chosen as a finalist. And this is why we try to preach to students. It's important that you know how to hold a dialogue with an adult, making eye contact without doing these. I don't know. I think I want to go to college because this is why it's important. If you can stand still, look into the camera, be concise and direct with your answers, not a lot of ums, not a lot of uhs, then you're going to make a good impression. And sometimes that personal interview will nail you a bigger scholarship. So make sure that you understand the criteria so that you're able to share that information with your students and you're able to teach them about it now. You don't have to wait. So tips and tools, because man, I know life hasn't been easy for y'all. I know that COVID has made things challenging. I know that our students are done with learning via computer. So I'm going to give you a few pointers, but I'm going to give you some advice as to how to implement these pointers. Listen more, number one. Now, how do you do that? Because everybody hears it all the time. Listen more. Okay, so I'm supposed to listen more. How? I don't know, but I guess talk longer so I can listen more. No, I'm going to teach you a technique with a pen, and you're not going to write. I want you to tomorrow sit down with your child and ask them any question you want, but I'm going to give you an example. Ask them, who is somebody you look up to and why? Only the person holding the pen can talk. So when your child says, I look up to this artist, this musician, this athlete, this actress, and you're like, what? You're not allowed to say anything. Only the person holding the object can speak. And on top of that, when that person is finally done speaking and they give you the talking object, you don't get to say how you feel, what you thought, why they're wrong, how to fix it. You have to make sure that you check for comprehension by saying, this is what I heard you say. Once you're done, you give the talking stick, whatever it might be, pen, to your student again so that they can confirm or deny. You get it back and then you get to talk. For some parents, I can tell and I can see you squirming right now. Yeah, that's not going to happen. You're asking me to just listen? Yes, that's exactly what I'm asking you to do. Because for parents, it's difficult to listen and not provide the solution, not give the advice, not tell them why they're wrong. And that's why our students don't want to talk to us. So listen more, number one. Number two, change your questions. Stop asking the questions that you know the answers to. How was school? You know as well as I know, and on the count of three, we can all say out loud the answer. After you ask, how did school go? What's the answer? 1, 2, 3. Good. Always, no matter what. How was school? Good. Did you do your homework? Yes. Anything happened today? No. We know the answers. So change your questions. I'm going to give you a cool question that I want you to ask your child tomorrow. So many times we keep on asking our children, what do you want to be when you grow up? For my college graduates that are listening and watching, you know you wanted to be something when you grew up when you were in high school. It may not turned out that way though. Instead of asking that question, and instead of forcing me to say an answer that sounds good, but I have no interest in, like, oh, I'm going to be a doctor. You're flunking science. I know, but I really want to be a doctor. Okay. Change your question to, what do you want to change in this world when you grow up? Allow your student to answer that question to you. Okay. Number 3, share one-on-one time. I'm asking you to share one-on-one time because because your kids are going to leave. And when they leave, you wish you would have talked to them some more. When they leave, all of a sudden you want to call. When they leave, all of a sudden you want to know how they're doing. When they leave, things really change and you really want to be their friends and you really want to be supportive and you really want to be there. I'm telling you from experience. They leave and they're ready to leave and not contact you as often as you want unless they need money. Share as much one-on-one time with each one of your children now so they feel special, appreciated, and respected. Next, work together. If you're going to apply for this scholarship, work together. Sit with them. It ensures that they're doing it, of course. But what if, for working together, we tried this? Hey, I know I can't help you with the English writing. I'm not very good at it, but I want to be part of this HACER scholarship process. Do you think that I could sit with you and maybe help you a little bit? But would you allow me to hit send or return or enter on the keyboard to submit it? Because I never submitted a scholarship application and I'd like to be a part of your experience. There's a few things you're doing there. You're being a part of the experience, and don't tell them that I told you this. You're making sure that they're turning in that scholarship application too in the process. Lastly, share your story with them. Look, I know it's challenging and it's difficult, but not until I really knew a lot of the sacrifices that my mom made did I really put in that extra effort and energy into school. Let them know what you wanted to be when you grow up. Let them know why you did or didn't go to college. Let them know why your mom or dad, their grandma, grandpa did or didn't go to college. Share your stories with them because research has shown us that a student that knows their family history does better in school, is more involved, and graduates on time. If nothing else, for that reason, share your stories with them. Okay? Now, I'd like to share my last story here with you. These are the people that sorry. These are the people that I get to try to help inspire and support. The one on the other side of the bald step-in model is mini me, Jorge, who is only 6'4". I'm 5'9" with my shoes on. Next to him is my daughter, Sophia, who's an amazing cheerleader, and she's a senior, and she will be applying for this and many other scholarships. Next to the bald model is my beautiful wife that supports me, encourages me, and helps me be the man that I am now. In her lap is baby Xiomara, the person that will be applying for every scholarship on planet Earth. And I'm not trying to scare you, but I'm going to scare you because a financial planner told me that a child born in 2020 was going to need approximately $350,000 worth of savings to get their child through college. So now that I scared the bejesus out of you, I hope that this information helped you. I know I shared a lot of tips, so I want to bring my boy Chew back to see which one of those tips hit home because every now and then he actually pays attention to when I'm talking. So I want to hear Chew, which one of those tips hit home for you? Which one do you think, I'm going to have to try that one. That one's good. Which one did you like, Chew?
Oh, the spend one-on-one time. My 17-year-old getting older. He's got a job. He's busy. He's got friends. You know, there have been more than once that he canceled on me for doing something, right? And then all of a sudden, I'm like, wow, you know, he was always there, and time changes. So, not just trying to spend time with him, but I've got two other younger ones, so I spend a lot of time with them. You know, I said earlier in our session for the educators, took my daughter rock climbing this weekend, just doing something with her, and spending time and one big one for me is spending time with them doing something that they are amazing at or that they love and that they're passionate, even if I think it's the most boring thing in the world.
For sure.
Being there and in their greatness and supporting them,
Mm-hmm.
it does wonders for them, but it really warms my heart. Dude, you gave some great tools. The scholarship, I was taking notes. My 17-year-old is a senior. This was phenomenal. You got some time for a little Q&A, some questions?
For sure. And I encourage parents to ask some questions.
Yeah, so let's see. There comes our first question. How do I know which scholarship amount to apply for?
Okay, so this is going to sound odd. You don't know. You apply, and the scholarship committee, as I mentioned during the portion earlier, determines which one they feel would be the best one for you. Obviously, we all feel the $100,000 one is the best one for my student, but you don't get to determine that. You apply, and the scholarship committee then decides here's the award that we feel we want to give this student. So, no need to worry about that for this particular scholarship.
Yeah. Next question. Can my child apply for another scholarship if they apply or get awarded the SED scholarship? Can they keep applying to as many scholarships as they want?
Yes, and here's the bigger challenge that you're going to face. Make scholarship application a part-time job for your children because it could be the best paying part-time job they ever have in their lives. What if, let's say, you get the SED scholarship for 5,000? Count the amount of hours that it took you to apply for that scholarship and then see how much you made an hour to apply for that scholarship. But yes, you can apply for every scholarship under the moon, but you need to understand this. Some scholarships will be impacted by your financial aid award. So if your financial aid covers 90% and you only need 10 more percent to pay for your education, they may just give you that 10%, not because they don't feel you deserve it or they don't want to give you free money, but because they want to give it to another student who might need it to cover their tuition. But yes, apply for every scholarship possible, and that those resources that we gave you give you more than a few scholarships to apply for.
Yeah, and you know what? Make it a family endeavor. You can all work on it. Spend a Sunday. You know, a lot of stuff is electronic now, but back in the day, everybody put them in the envelope. Take the youngest. Okay, you gotta put the stamp on. And do the work, but make it a family event. Especially when
Mhm.
they're about to hit the submit button, have the family there, make it momentous, make it a ritual. It should be a family process. Okay, Pedro has another question. How can I make sure my child submits his application by the deadline?
Yeah, so I gave you one example, Pedro, of saying you want to be a part of the experience and actually hitting submit, hitting send, hitting return on the keyboard. But also, here's another piece of advice for that. If the scholarship is due February 7th, give yourself an earlier deadline. And I hate to do this, but I've just seen this over and over again. Sit down and say, okay, this Sunday, let's review the scholarships submitted and let me see that they were submitted. It's not, I don't trust you, I don't believe you. However, it is sometimes that they're going to say that they did it just to say that they did it. And they're also going to say, I did it because in some cases, you don't know how to check. You don't know what to do. So you ask for some sort of reply from that scholarship committee. They get an email, they get a letter, they get a notification, they get, we received your scholarship. Ask to see that, and that could help. But also get involved in the writing that they do, the essays that they're writing. Look, we're going to have a series of essay workshops for you with Joaquin. You may be able to help them write a story for their personal statement for the SED scholarship based upon your experience, and they compare it to your experience and where they're at now. What a beautiful story that could be.
Yeah, parents, you're like the safety net, right? You're the safety net. I remember when I was getting ready for college, I didn't submit my deposit, my registration deposit. I got a scholarship. I was in, but I was like, I wasn't sure if I was going to go. I was, full of doubt. And when I graduated, that moment with my family, all of a sudden I wanted to go, and I was like, oh my God, holy crap, I forgot the deposit. And when I called the admissions person, I was literally in tears, Ernesto. I was like, oh my God, did I screw this up? And the lady laughed, and I was like, why are you laughing? This is not funny. And she's like, I'm laughing because your dad sent the deposit a month ago. My
Yeah,
dad
that's
covered my
awesome.
tracks, because sometimes kids will be irresponsible. They will be full of
Mm-hmm.
doubt. Sometimes it's fear, but,
Sure.
you're the safety net.
Yep.
All right, let's see. Do we have
Are you
any
good with
other
our questions,
questions?
bro?
Oh, no. But what we do have is an opportunity for more cool stuff, right? We're asking you to let us know how we did. And we're asking you to fill out the evaluation, which it's right up here, www.clspk.com/I said two. And here's the wonderful thing. If you fill out the evaluation, you'll get an electronic version of this book, which Ernesto and I wrote. Me and Ernesto wrote this book. It is a college readiness book with a lot of the resources that Ernesto already spoke of and a whole bunch of other ones and step-by-step instructions on how you can help your student get to college. We got budget sheets. We've got common application, strategies for the SATs, all in the book for free. You get a immediate electronic version, no strings attached. You don't have to give us your email. You give us nothing. Just give us your feedback. If you give us your feedback, you get the free copy of the book. And we get information on how to improve this program for the rest, because we've got a bunch more to go. All right. We've got student programs. We've got other parent programs. We've got educator programs. We've got the essay writing that Ernesto just wrote. We've got a lot of that. But our I believe it's time to announce some winners, man.
We got some goods.
Text to win. I believe we might have some winners.
We made it worth their while to stick around.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
All right, let's see what you got. Take it away.
Let's see what we have and see what winners we have. They should be popping up. Oh, here we go. Our first winner of $500 gift card is, let's see, Cynthia Villarreal from Brownsville, Texas. Congratulations, $500. Oh, that can get a lot of tacos down in Brownsville. And you know what? Brownsville, Texas has amazing, amazing ceviche. I loved it when I was down there. Amazing. Let's see who our next winner is. That's the first winner. Second winner for the 500, Elizabeth Nahar from Piscataway, New Jersey. Oh, you're near my hometown. Oh, congratulations, Jersey girl, winning $500. Awesome. Last winner, $500. Here we go. Magali Aviles from Salinas, California. Salinas in the house. Congratulations. Been a couple years since we were down there. We're hoping to come back soon. Congratulations to all the $500 winners. If you won an Arch card, you're going to get messaged about that. All right. Let's bring my good friend Ernesto back. It feels good to give people $500, especially now during this time. Especially those places, Salinas, Brownsville. We've been to those places. It's really awesome to be able to give back.
For sure. I'm hoping one of those Brownsville parents was one of our UTRGV Gear Up fam. That'd be awesome if they are. And even if they aren't, that's awesome either way. And Salinas, I know that they've been asking for us to come back out, which is awesome. So thank you all for allowing us to spend some time with you, share some resources and information. And please don't give up the fight. You've never given up the fight for your children. There's no reason to start now. We just need to fight for some scholarship money, financial aid money to help cover those tuitions.
And parents, we're going to let you know, if you enjoyed this session, if you enjoyed the information, if you laughed, we've got more events coming up. We've got an upcoming workshop. We want you to invite your students. All right. We have an event next week, October 21st, for students at 1 p.m. Pacific time. If you have parents that you think would also benefit from this, we're having a parent workshop November 3rd at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and that will be in Spanish. We have other student workshops November 16th and January 19th at 1 p.m. Eastern. We have one more educator workshop November 3rd, but this is the big one, essay writing workshop. Remember, the Aesthetic Scholarship does not have an essay, but it has questions, all right? Questions that need very thought out answers so that the students can share their narratives and share their stories. So please make sure you come back and attend. And you know what? I'm just going to say it. You didn't win today. There's nothing stopping you from coming back and maybe winning another time, all right? So these cash prizes help out. And you get to hang out with us, laugh, and enjoy yourself. So thank you very much for attending. We're looking forward to seeing you at some of the other sessions, but keep doing what you do for your kids. Last words are for you.
Thank you, parents. Que pasen buenas noches. And I appreciate all the sacrifices that you're making. And know that while your children might not notice it or say anything now, you'll hear about it later. Keep up the great work. Y que pasen buenas noches.
Buenas noches. Nos vemos.